Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 191. And I know what you're thinking. Levi, why does your voice sound like that? It was a helium balloon incident, and listen, I'll explain it. I've got it planned for like episode 200. I'll probably tell you then. Next time we have a guest and they bring it up, maybe then I'll tell the story. But besides that, if you haven't yet noticed, new background, listen, we're building a new set. I teased it last week, okay? It's not for the What Are We Doing podcast, but in the, interim of building it, getting the walls up, the panels up, everything we need to launch said new show, here I am, we're doing camera test shots and things, so I wasn't going to put all the stuff back over onto the Wad Pod set, okay? Got to figure out an easy maneuver for that each week, because if I'm going to be recording here and also over there, we got to come up with a solution, you know what I mean? And so basically, you're getting a sneak peek. It's a soft launch, essentially, if you will, of the set for the new show. Once it's out, I'll announce it here, probably inevitably, and that'll kind of be the announcement of that. So we're working on it. We're getting guests. Hopefully, we're going to get some scheduled next week. And with that being said, just stay tuned, and there will be more to come. Obviously, I know I didn't order enough wood panels, okay? You know what I mean? Like my shiplap, my wood panel wall here is only half done. I don't need you to tell me.
What are we doing?
And so it basically, it's half done. I've got more wood coming. We're going to finish this wall. We'll probably get rid of the tube lights. Not sure if we'll keep those or not. Let me know in the comments if you like those. I placed them in 13 different spots before I hit record, and this is just what we landed on. And so essentially, for those of you watching visually, let me know if there's any improvements. We're probably going to get like a neon sign for the new show right here somewhere in this area. Finish this wall with more wood planks because I ran out. And then, also I've got a tree. I've got a tree coming. It's not an official podcast set in 2025 if you don't have a tree.
What are we doing?
It's that simple. If you don't have a tree, it's not an official set. Justin has a tree. Does Rogan have a tree? You know what? Hey, I don't think Joe Rogan has a tree. Tim Dillon I think he has a palm tree. He has trees in his background. As long as there's a tree somewhere, we got the grass wall. We're getting a tree coming. We've got the lights. We've got pretty much everything we need. We're about 95% of the way there. And then this new little recording spot will be a wrap. And we can have it here permanently. And this will probably be like where I have guests. You know what I mean? If they ever do end up coming back in studio, if I ever get someone in here again to actually be a friend of mine and guest. I know I have people interested. I know I can call Los or Jeff or anyone at any time, get them in here. But all I'm saying is now we've got a little bit of an extra secondary content creation kind of space. Got to get lights on wheels. Got to get the camera, I think, on wheels. I think I just need everything on wheels. I think that's where I'm at in this one-man band, kind of small of a room of a space. I think I need my camera and my lights on wheels, and then we'll be set. And I think that's probably, I need to order like 3 tripods on wheels. Make a note of that, and we'll make it happen. So, listen, it's 191. If you haven't done so already, I should have said it at the drop, but we are 191 weeks into this thing, and you personally, I know you for a fact listening, I'm talking to you right now, me and you, one-on-one. I know you haven't hit subscribe, and I know for a fact you haven't hit the thumbs up like button yet. So please do so right now. And it's not really an option. It's kind of a requirement at this point. If you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, make sure you get the notification whenever we upload a new clip, a short, an episode. You know what we're doing. It's YouTube, and this is where we live. And so with that being said, we appreciate everyone else on all the other platforms that we are on and utilize. You can follow us on TikTok, X, we're real active over there, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, of course, the whole 9 yards, whichever platform is your own. Please check us out there, usually at the Wad Pod, at What Are We Doing? Just search the name. You'll find it. Levi McCurdy is there as well on Twitter. And just be sure to follow us and follow the show, okay? And so remember last week when I had this big, long segment about how Google just had their Google I.O. event, and I was all gung-ho on their new AI and the video development and how you can go get a VO3 subscription right now for essentially like nothing. And you can write a prompt with your text words on your keyboard and boop, Google VO3 will spit out a realistic or cartoon or whatever the hell you told it to via a video with sound and people and sound effects and background music and just whatever it is, the kind of mood you're going for with the video you need to create. Remember when I was, talking about all that? Right. So now here's the issue. I guess maybe, here's the thing. It's a big maybe, but we'll get through it together. I might have been wrong and jumped the gun just a smidge.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? I might have been a little wrong on how good the technology is. Case in point, let's review this video. Now that creators and people have been using this tool now, we now know kind of its full capabilities. And some of it's good, okay? Some of it's great. Some of it, though, still needs about 3 to 4 years worth of updates and improvements. Case in point, this is a compilation of generated VO3 videos from Google of influencers and YouTubers alike. And I mean, now some of them, we'll just take a look. Here we go.
About to do the first plunge into an active volcano. Let's send it.
100%
we spent
real.
$50 million to rebuild the Titanic just to sink it again. Last person to abandon
100%
ship
something Mr.
is
Beast
the
would do,
Lambo.
you know what I mean?
I covered my entire body in compost and waited to see what started growing.
Running for my life on North Sentinel Island. Day 3. Should have picked Bali. All right. I've sealed my head in this plastic box, and I'm gonna try to read the entire dictionary before I pass out.
I love that idea. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
I love that idea. I love the idea of putting a plastic bag, like a trash bag. We fill it with air, of course, so it's full of air. And it's then sealed around my neck, and I have to read a book. Hey, Miss Talby, why don't we make it of mice and men?
What are we doing?
I was just talking to Justin about Miss Talby last weekend, so I think that should be the challenge. Instead of a dictionary, because Lord knows I can't get through a dictionary, I'm not going to go know how to pronounce 80% of the words, even though it should be there in the dictionary with the letter and everything. It's going to take me twice as long. So why don't we make the challenge? I put a trash bag or a bucket full of air, and that's all the air I have to survive. And then I have to read the entire of Mice and Men book before I run out of air and suffocate. And we just become a YouTube, let's do a crazy extreme Mr. Beast challenge video YouTube channel.
What are we doing?
I think that'd be a great idea. Is this actually this one might be real. I think this might be real in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean?
Flying into North Korea with a lawn chair and 1,000 party balloons. Don't try this at home.
Didn't someone already do that?
I'm about to survive 100 days in the African savannah, only eating and drinking what my body already gave up. Basically, the circle of life.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're cooking with plutonium-239. It's hot, it's dangerous, and it's definitely illegal.
I'm doing K2 the honest way. Alone, unprepared, and in a straight line. Leave a comment for the search team.
Oh my
God. What are we doing?
I don't think I really... Let me know what you think's worse. The fact that these videos now exist out there in the world, or B, someone had to prompt them up. Someone had to type these out. A guy in a tank top, overweight, climbing Mount K2, leave a comment for the rescue. Like, someone had to write these prompts. Or C, the inevitable, aka our parents, the inevitable people who will see these videos and think they're real.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? Because at this point, I mean, we were all fooled. We were all fooled this week by the, what was it, a kangaroo? It was a kangaroo service animal on an Australian flight. And guess what, bro? It made headlines.
What are we doing?
So we are at the point now where major news outlets and article writers and influencers online who can sway the public opinion, that's why they're called influencers, because they have influence over us, me and you. It is now to the point where with this new technology, we are getting subpar created text to prompt videos from Google, and then news outlets ran by, you know, the boomers, our parents, anyone who is 45 plus years old who can make executive decisions at a major news organization is going to hit publish on a video just like this because they think some influencer strapped 1,000 balloons to a lawn chair and is currently on their way into North Korean airspace. Yes or yes?
What are we doing?
And so what could possibly be worse? What could possibly be worse than that? And so it just kind of is this annoying situation of a society that we live in, because this is where the playing field's going to be for the next 5 to 10 years. Your parents are going to show you something, and then you're going to have to explain to them that it's not real, it's AI, and even though CNN or whatever mom and pop blog your parents think is real news these days online says it's real, it's actually not, and here's why. We're going to have to hold the hands of our parents now. It's up to us. Millennials, Gen Z, you've got to call grandma and grandpa and make sure they're okay. Listen, my grandma was getting scammed by the phone calls like 10 plus 15 years ago.
What are we doing?
Okay? The phone scams on the old people are only going to get worse. 15 years ago, scammers called my grandma and said that, oh man, they could tell that she was old by her voice on the phone. So naturally, someone with an older voice probably has a grandchild. They say, oh ma'am, your grandson is in prison. We need you to send us money to bail him out. And then naturally, grandma goes, oh, you mean my grandson Levi? And they go, oh my gosh, yes ma'am, it is Levi. You need to send us $5,000 right now, or he'll be in prison for the rest of his life. We can release him on bail if you give us your credit card information. And naturally, grandma's instinct is to give them said money because she doesn't want to see her precious grandson in prison for whatever it might have been that he'd done. It's probably a mistake. You know, grandma's boy, you know best. You know what I mean? And so those scams are already currently happening, let alone the fact that if anyone has at least like 4 minutes of your voice now, if you have at least a video of you on social media and they can access it, they can put it into AI and they can make you say whatever you want. It's to the point now, this is the new strategy. And if you're afraid of this happening to you, maybe do it to protect yourself and your financial assets. But influencers now, people like Joe Rogan, the Kai Cenats, the streamers, the people who have a massive amounts of followers and have massive amounts of content online, when you sit down and you release 3, 6, 9, 12 hours of you talking every single week for the last 20 years, all a scammer or an organization needs to do is click download on one tool that they find for free online to get your entire channel. Shit, they only need one episode of a actual podcast to make it happen. Put you into AI and make you say whatever you want, aka call the bank and transfer money out.
What are we doing?
And so now what influencers and celebrities alike are doing is we now have to go into the bank and we have to draft up, probably call the lawyers too, so Lord knows this is costing even more money. We have to draft up a new contract and agreement with our bank saying, you will not transfer any of my money past a certain amount, make it $5,000, $10,000, whatever, and that unless I am physically here in person. If it's a phone call, I must be in person for a certain amount because I don't need someone AIing my voice, injecting it into a phone call, and having the bank think some boomer, some older generation employee at the bank thinking, oh, this sounds just like Levi. I'd recognize that unique voice anywhere. And then boom, your money's gone and the AI scammer has it all. You know what I mean? So it's a situation where we've got to start thinking about what it is that we can use these tools for maliciously and how we can combat that maliciousness if, in fact, you're the type of person to think that way. So you know what I mean? It's AI. It's AI. It's here. Some of it's bad. Some of it's good. And some of it is only going to get better, which will then in turn make it potentially a lot worse. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
So this next story, all I have to say is that it's real. It's coming soon. And we've signed up to not only win this product upon launch, but also be one of the first people to purchase. Okay, shut up. I know you want it too. But Sweeney has teamed up with Dr. Squanch to release an all-new men's soap scent, you know what I mean, flavor, whatever you want to call the different types of tropical flavor scent of soap, to release none other than Bathwater Bliss, a limited run of 5,000 soap bars, each certified to have been made using water that Sweeney has personally bathed in.
What are we doing?
And so at first, your brain automatically tells you that this is weird. Why are we doing this? This is kind of, let's not, hey, maybe like the person, the intern or the entry level marketer, the person who pitched this at the Dr. Squanch company, you know for a fact was probably already on thin ice and at the time of the pitch was most likely going back and forth. Do I risk my entire career or do I become the ultimate legend at this company? And with the most audacious balls, this, I'm presuming, just saying it was probably a man, but could have been a female on the team, just saying, it probably was. It was probably an extremely smart marketing director, that of a female at Dr. Squanch, who said, what if we do bath soap with Sweeney's bath water?
What are we doing?
And to that I say, you know, it's
Hello, you dirty little boys.
Hello.
Are you interested in my body? Wash. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys. It's for me. Hello, you dirty little boys.
I'm gonna watch
Are you
it
interested
again.
in my body? Wash. Well, you can't have it. Because this isn't for boys. It's for me.
Okay, so if you want this product like I know you
What
do,
are we doing?
you're going to have to wait in line because I need to get it first, okay? Listen, here's what I did last night. Listen to how smart. Hey, fellas, if you're not one of the fellas, you can keep scrolling. Listen up. Bye, ladies. Fellas, listen to what I did, okay? I told my fiance, get this shit. I told my fiance, I'm so fucking smart, dude. And guys, you're going to learn this podcast, education all the way. I told my fiance last night that I didn't find Sydney Sweeney attractive.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? I said, she's like, because when I, of course, showed her and naturally said we need 12 bars of the Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap that contains actual droplets of Sydney Sweeney's used bathwater, she gave me the look, fellas, you know, the same look that your significant other gave you when you said you needed the soap. And so essentially, I had to, you know what I mean, pivot, and come up with the smartest solution. Fellas, I said, I don't know. Listen, hey, I think it's a great bit, Megs, but like, Sydney Sweeney, like you can't deny the rack, but there's just something about her, Sydney Sweeney, that I don't really find that attractive. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. And then, like, you know, when Megs is giving me the, like, she doesn't believe what I'm saying look, I go, I think it's a simple fact that she's not you, princess. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
And so we signed up. We both signed up, multiple emails, multiple phone numbers. We have at least 4 each between us all. So we are going to be notified upon the release of what can we call, I don't know, maybe the man's product of 2025. Ladies, if you love your man, and even, hey, listen, ladies, listen, don't be embarrassed to smell like Dr. Squanch. They got great smells. And I'm sure that Bathwater Bliss smells delicious. So let the ladies use it too. I know a few ladies in my phone contacts that would love to scrub a dub in the tub with some Sydney Sweeney Bathwater Bliss with actual Sydney Sweeney bathwater.
What are we doing?
And it's, you know, so ladies, hey, get it for yourself, get it for your man, get it for your girl, get it for whoever you love in your life, because this might be the hottest product, not only of the year, the century, I don't know, the decade. This is going to go fast. They're only making 5,000 bars, and something tells me the cost to acquire that much bathwater from Sydney Sweeney, Dr. Squanch, probably isn't going to be able to afford a second batch.
What are we doing?
If you know what I mean. I also heard Sydney Sweeney might be doing the same type of deal with Charmin toilet paper.
What are we doing?
So we'll see what part of Sydney Sweeney's included in that product. You know what I mean? So you can find it online. I'm not giving you the link because the more people that sign up, the less chances I have at purchasing this product. Listen, I'm joking. This whole thing was just a bit. I don't like Sydney Sweeney. I don't think she deserves to have a product like this. I don't think it's gross. It's disgusting. I'm not giving her any of my money. I would never buy this product. You know what I mean? Was that okay? Was that okay, sweetheart? It's okay. Like what I said there, that was all right. The end part. Okay. Love you. Love you. So Megs and I, listen, we went to Post Malone. We saw Post Malone. He is currently on tour, as most people know. He's out there at the big ass stadium tour with none other than his friend, fellow loser, Jelly Roll. Okay, you know what I mean? We're all fans of Jelly Roll, and everyone on the planet pretty much knows at least one Post Malone song, because guess what? He doesn't stop winning awards for them.
What are we doing?
And so, needless to say, Post Malone is a must-go-to show. Now, unfortunately, you know what I mean? We saw Post Malone when he was in Hershey the first time back in 2020. And I believe he came around again when he dropped F1 Trillion with a few dates. They were on random days. It wasn't a full-blown tour. So unfortunately, we couldn't go to any of those shows. But as soon as we learned that the big-ass stadium tour was coming to pretty much every Pennsylvania city near you. We had to get some ticks, okay? And so, now listen, was Post Malone playing at Hershey Stadium this week? Yes. Is that closer to my house than the Philadelphia show? Yes. Did we go to the Hershey show? No. Why didn't we go to the Hershey show even though it's closer to the house? Basically, because we didn't want to see you there.
What are we doing?
Okay, I'm talking to you. If you went and saw Post Malone at the Hershey show, you're the exact person that Megs and I didn't want to see. We wanted a better experience. So we went to the Philly show, okay? And from what we saw, the Philly show, hey, not tooting our own horns because we were there, but the Philly show was the best out of the 3 Central PA stops he did. Hershey, PA, according to the TikToks, insider sources, and the people that we sent there, I'll tell you why we sent them in a couple minutes, but according to our friends and insider sources, the Hershey show was not only filled with staff who were rude and mean to the guest. They made them wait outside in the pouring down rain in a huge line to get in. I don't know if you were at the Post Malone Hershey show and there was a line to get in the stadium. I don't know what that's about because in Philly, we all walked right in. You know what I mean? We walked right in.
What are we doing?
And there wasn't no one stopped it. We just walked right in. They scanned our thing and we were where we needed to be instantly. And so, oh, by the way, like I just mentioned, the Hershey show, pouring down rain the entire time. When we were out in Philly, perfect weather. It rained a smidge earlier that day, but the weather cleared up. It was perfect. The temperature, everything. The weather was so perfect that when Jelly Roll was performing, we got a double rainbow.
What are we doing?
So rainbows in the sky for the Philly show. And then Pittsburgh, I heard last night at Pittsburgh, the stage wasn't even a full-blown, stage. Like, the stage is supposed to be a T, and people can buy seats all around that T of a stage, and Post Malone's supposed to come out and walk both sides and the whole 9 yards of the T. I heard Pittsburgh didn't get the top part of the T, and so people who paid to be directly in front row right then and there were moved back 3 spaces and was just where essentially everyone else was. So, according to TikTok, not my opinion, because that's probably shit. According to TikTok and everyone else I saw and witnessed and knew who went to the Central PA shows, sorry, but us who went to Philly got pretty much the long straw, and we got the best experience. It was a great show. It was fantastic. Okay. Now, Jelly Roll. Let's talk about him. Listen, Megs and I aren't the biggest country music fans. We know of the Jelly Roll songs. Can we sing them word for word like most of the people at the Jelly Roll concert? No, but we enjoy the music. He put on a show. He performed real good. In between each song, he did a mini church service, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even supposed to be here. And by the grace of God tonight, Philadelphia, I'm here with you, breaking generational wealth. It's because of you. My homeless drummer isn't sleeping under a bridge tonight. Philadelphia makes a... And so between every song to fill space, because Jelly Roll, unfortunately, doesn't have enough of his own songs to fill the amount of time he needs to be on stage that we all know and love. So he filled time with things like a cover. He did a cover of Miley Cyrus's Flowers. He did a cover of, I kid you not, Jelly Roll, the country artist, came out on stage during the Post Malone concert, did a full-blown cover of Up in Here Party Anthem by DMX.
What are we doing?
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind at a Jelly Roll concert? At a Jelly Roll concert. Kind of whatever. He did another cover. He did his Country Road song. It was a good show by Jelly Roll. But the main moment that we had with Jelly Roll that I think a lot of people are deciding to remember from the show is the fact that when it is time for Jelly to leave the stage, when his time is over, when the song has ended or the collab or whatever it is that is going on, when it is time for Jelly Roll to leave the stage, he runs. That boy runs. He's a runner. He's a track star. And for some reason, and I thought maybe it was our show, but according to the research and things we found on TikTok, it's just about every single time. It's almost as if when he has done his final song or act on the stage during that time, someone is in his earpiece saying, yo, bro, Bunny's in your green room naked waiting for you. And then, zoom, Jelly's off. Where's the video? Play the video, bro. Play the video of Jelly Roll just zoom. Here he goes. Jelly, 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 jelly. Zoom. When it is time for Jelly Roll to go off stage, he runs as fast as he possibly can. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know if they told him, hey, Jelly, when you're done, all we need you to do is just get off the stage as fast as you can so we can keep the show going. And if Jelly Roll were to walk that distance, it would take too much time. I don't know, but somewhere along the way, someone, a showrunner, a manager, someone told Jelly Roll that when it is time for him to come off the stage, it needs to happen as humanly possible for that man in his weight class.
What are we doing?
And he's fast as fuck, boy. And Jelly Roll just zoop. It's almost as if he was in the middle of the tour's beer pong tournament and it was his turn next and he's holding up the game, so he's got to get back to throw the ball. He comes out, he does Losers with Post Malone, and then zoom, he is off the stage, so he is not taking up any more of Post Malone's time or any more of his spotlight. Maybe it's a respect thing, maybe not, but if I was Jelly Roll, I'd probably not risk falling down and tumbling into the audience, and maybe just from here on out, take your time.
What are we doing?
I don't think we need to run that fast off the stage. I think we can spare an extra 30 to 45 seconds to get Jelly Roll safely back to where he needs to be after his cameo roll. And so I think cameo roll. What did I say? I said cameo roll because I got his name Jelly Roll in my mind. After his cameo. Christ, the English language, dude. And so basically now I just need, my goal in life is to have Jelly Roll on this podcast. I need Jelly Roll on my podcast. And the first effing question I'm asking him is not how he came up, not how his life has changed, not how Bunny's doing. I'll ask him all those same questions. But the first question I am asking Jelly Roll, I'm not even going to introduce myself, say, what's up, bro? Hey, why are you running so fast?
What are we doing?
And then hopefully get an answer as to why Mr. Jelly feels it necessary to run that fast off the stage. Now, before we get to the main meat and potatoes of the show, aka Mr. Austin Richard Post Malone. Austin Richard Post Malone. I'd never realized the man's got 4 names.
What are we doing?
We just call him Post Malone, cut it down by 2. Let's talk about the attire, because Megs going to this concert had one goal in mind. Cowgirl sexy, also, aka the sexiest bitch in the stadium. And guess what? By God, on God, 100%, not even a bit, not joking. Megs was the sexiest bitch in the goddamn stadium.
What are we doing?
I looked high and low. Megs looked with me. Every other female that we remotely slightly found attractive, I'm sorry, in our opinion, fell into second, if not third or lower down of a place in the rankings compared to what my badass fiance had on. Okay? We're talking shimmy dress. We're talking cheeks out. We're talking sparkly boots. We're talking sparkly light up cowboy hat. We're talking Megs had a goal and she knocked it out of the goddamn park.
What are we doing?
So when I tell you that basically the comments just coming in as soon as we stepped out of the car to walk into the stadium, we heard things like, "Oh my gosh, you're the cutest human being alive. Holy shit, I love your outfit. You go, girl. Look at you. Love your outfit." And about 19 other Chat GPT generated comments along those lines that other females were shouting at her as we walked by.
What are we doing?
And so naturally, as Megs is planning this sexy wexy, look at me, I'm at a Post Malone concert, I'm the sexiest bitch in the stadium outfit, I needed something to go along with it. Okay, so for me, I went straight Post Malone mode. Okay, we did everything Post Malone would have, you know what I mean? Like it would have been an outfit he probably would have picked out for himself. I'm talking Levi's, okay? I got my 511s, baby. I got my 511 Levi's, okay? Shorts, jean shorts, cut off at the knee, Levi's jean shorts, white t-shirt, and boom, just for Post Malone himself, even though I don't really watch the sport, a effing Cowboys jersey, dude. I got myself a crop top, men's, I'm pretty sure is it men's or women's, I don't know, but it was kind of it was a fashion thing, you know what I mean? There's photos on the screen. Cowboys jersey for none other than my man, Post Malone.
What are we doing?
Now, what Megs and I both failed to realize during the planning of my outfit was that it would generate the exact opposite effect that hers did. And I don't know if maybe that was her plan all along, prop herself up while I'm being literally stomped to the ground. But hey, we love her anyways. It's Megs, okay? She can do no wrong. And so when I tell you that we didn't realize or put two and two together that we were seeing Post Malone in Philly.
What are we doing?
The show that we were seeing was in Philadelphia.
What are we doing?
Where the Philadelphia Eagles play. And guess what? The big ass stadium we were in is where the Philadelphia Phillies play baseball.
What are we doing?
And my ass is in the middle of it with a crop top Cowboys jersey on. A Dallas Cowboys jersey to support and rep none other than to support my friend Post Malone, okay? And so we didn't realize that until we were in line for our drinks, and two hot-headed, arrogant Philadelphia Eagles fans were like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck are you wearing right now?" And I said, "Listen, man, it's just a thing. It's a fashion thing. I tried to explain myself. I'm like, listen, I don't watch football like that. And hey, guess what? When I do watch football, I'm usually rooting for either the Eagles or the Steelers. So it's just, we're at a post." I try to explain to them, Post Malone, freaking Cowboys. Post Malone loves the Cowboys, okay? And I'm trying to support him. Post Malone came out in the show. He's wearing a goddamn Philadelphia Eagles shirt, okay? And so I'm the only one. I think there might have been one or two other people, but I'm one of the very few people in that stadium that actually had a Dallas Cowboys jersey on. So these two hot-headed Eagles guys, we get in front of them to get a drink. Little buddy comes around, puts his hand on me to turn my chest towards him. I swear to God this happened. Megs was right there beside me, just to see what the jersey was or what year it was from or whatever. And then they snickered off and like gave me a dirty ass look. And I turned to Megs and I said, "Did that man just put his fucking hands on me?"
What are we doing?
And so she calmed me down. She told me to ignore it. We weren't trying to fist fight at the Post Malone concert over a jersey that I don't even give a shit about. It was for the show. It's Post Malone. And so it happened once or twice more. No one else put their hands on me that evening. But then we finally get to the Post Malone part of the evening. So everyone's back to their seats. All the seats are full. It's a sold out show. And these two people behind us come in line. They're about our age, you know what I mean? 30s probably. And they're behind us. And little buddy goes right behind me in the back of my ear and says, real bold move wearing that jersey in this town, huh? And I couldn't take it. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't take it anymore. I could not stand these people dragging me down when my fiance is standing right there looking like a whole ass snack that anyone in that damn stadium would be happy to consume, and treat me with the most opposite of utterly disrespect just because of this jersey I'm wearing. So when I tell you, as soon as this man's comment left his mouth, I turned around, got this close in his face. If I'm lying, I'm dying. You can ask Meg. She was standing right beside me. And I said, listen to me, man. Listen, shut up and listen. I don't watch football regularly, but when I do, I usually cheer for the Eagles or the Steelers. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm a Pennsylvania teams guy. I'm here with the sexiest bitch in the stadium. And at that point in time, his girlfriend / fiance leans over to Megs and goes, respect. I mean, he's not lying. Respect. You look good as shit. And she goes, thanks. It was a whole thing. And I go, my girl's the sexiest bitch in this stadium. She planned the outfits. She says I look good. She looks good. It's Post Malone's favorite team. We're at a fucking Post Malone concert. I don't give a shit about football, so shut the fuck up. Are we gonna be friends? Yes or yes?
What are we doing?
And the smile on this man's face, because he instantly fell in love with me, because he could see that I was half seriously threatening him and half living out a bit in real life. He said, man, you're the coolest, much respect, gave me a fist bump and said, you're the only person who's ever worn a Cowboys jersey that I've fist bumped in my entire life.
What are we doing?
And so the whole rest of the night, we were all best friends. We were singing Post Malone, and then Post Malone addresses it. Post Malone comes out, he's got his Eagles shirt on, and he goes, you know, ladies and gentlemen, my typical team that I root for is the Dallas Cowboys, and the entire stadium starts booing at this statement Post Malone is saying, and I turn around like this and I start going, boo! Everyone in my section's laughing. It's hysterical. Needless to say, Megs and I took over. We were the top contenders at the Post Malone concert.
What are we doing?
So I don't really give a shit. Yeah, I wore the Cowboys jersey and I rocked it hard. And guess what? If you had something to say about it, I shut you down. You know what I mean? And that's how Zaddy does it. Do I risk it for the bit? Do I risk it for the biscuit in real life? Of course I do, because that's how dedicated I am to this podcast. Listen, the merch was okay. The merch at the Post Malone concert, we didn't really buy. All I wanted was the cups. I wanted a Stanley Post Malone red Solo cup, and unfortunately, once we got to the merch booth, they were all sold out. We couldn't make it to the Kit tailgate party because that's just who we are as people. Naturally, we're always late to everything, so we couldn't get it there either. It sold out, and so we didn't get the cups. The shirts, the hoodies, the designs weren't great. I didn't love them. And, oh, by the way, the prices, a t-shirt, $70. A sweatshirt is going to cost you $130 to $150 at the Post Malone concert.
What are we doing?
Did I pay those prices? No, I absolutely did not. I waited till we got outside of the stadium, and some guy who really couldn't speak that good of English was selling bootleg Post Malone t-shirts that you can get on Etsy for $20. And guess what? Did I pay $20 per bootleg t-shirt? F no, dude. He didn't get it. I said, yo, bro, give me two. I'll give you 20. Give me 2 shirts for 20, $10 each. We're done. I'm walking away cash right now. He said, yeah, I got you. Handed me the shirts. I handed him a 20. I got 2 t-shirts from the Post Malone concert for like 20% of the cost as the one that you bought from the actual merch stand. So who's the real winner of the night? You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
But it's okay. We wanted the Stanley Cups. We didn't get it. But like I mentioned earlier in the segment, We had people at the Hershey show who went, and those warriors, man, they bared the rain. They sat through Jelly Roll. They sat through Post Malone, and they got the last 2 red Solo cup tumblers that we gave them money for ahead of time, and they will be in my possession very, very soon. Megs wants will probably save them for the wedding in Mexico, take some photos with them because they are just, they're so cool. It's a red Solo cup on the outside, stainless steel kind of tumbler vibe on the inside. They're a little bigger than a red Solo cup, and it was just, as soon as we saw them, we knew if we couldn't get like a special edition colored one, because I think they had green for Philadelphia. If we couldn't get one of those, we were happy to get the red one. Our friends hooked us up. Shout out to Dan and Jess at the Hershey show who hooked us up with the cups. So we got those, and the cups were really the only merch. By the way, $30 for a cup. They're out here charging $70 for a t-shirt, but for a Stanley branded custom Post Malone insulated red Solo cup limited edition, they're only charging $30 for. It's a no-brainer. Yes or yes. If you can go to any of the tailgates that are still left on the tour, I believe they sell them there. Go get one, because for $30, it's some merch that you're going to reuse over and over again. And for $30, I'd pay double. I'd pay double. I said if they were $60 cups, I still would have gotten 2.
What are we doing?
But the shirts were meh. The sweatshirt were meh. I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't a Taylor Swift merch situation. So then, of course, I mean, the Post Malone show, what can I say? It was a killer set list. He does an incredible job. His band, himself, the performance, the job of intermingling his hip hop, rap, R&B, the country stuff, interweaving all of his different sounds and genres and tempos is pretty much essentially what Post Malone does best. I mean, the set list included new stuff, old stuff, stuff in the middle of his career, just everything that we have come to know and love. I believe it was, 27 songs? Here's the whole set list right here. He kicks it off with what we think is one of his best songs. Okay, Megs and I are obsessed with this song. We love it. Texas Tea. So we start off the show with Texas Tea, killer. Then we go right into Wow. Then Better Now, Lemon Tree, Wrong Ones, Go Flex, Hollywood's Bleeding, Fall Apart. Then Jelly Roll runs back out on stage, does the song Losers, which is a banger with Post Malone. Then as soon, and not a second after that song is over, Jelly Roll runs right back because he can't be on stage for more than 45 seconds without singing. Then we do Goodbyes. Then Post Malone does Mexico, What Don't Belong to Me, Feeling Whitney, Never Love Again with Sierra Farrell. She couldn't make it to the Philly show because her bus broke down, so I don't think he did that one. I don't know. I might not have been paying attention. Circles, White Iverson. Bro, Post Malone, legend. He does the song White Iverson and goes, yeah, shout out to Philly. Hey, here's Mr. Iverson on stage, okay? So Post Malone brings out special guest appearance Allen Iverson, and everyone loses
What are we
it.
doing?
Everyone loses it. He comes out in his jersey. Post Malone's halfway through the White Iverson song. It's a moment. And so naturally, to give a finale to my night of a living bit with the people behind me as I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey, I turn around to these strangers who I just met a mere few hours ago. We're all best friends now. And say, hey, who was that on stage?
What are we doing?
And he's like, I can't believe you just asked me who Allen Iverson was. I fist bumped him again because he knew I knew, and we got each other, and we finished the effing show with Psycho, Finer Things, Pour Me a Drink, Dead at the Honky Tonk, Rockstar, I Had Some Help, Sunflower. Then Post Malone goes off stage for like 4 or 5 minutes, gets hooked up to a box, gets lifted in the air just a little bit. His feet never left the ground. And does congratulations in this light up box in the sky. in the middle of the whole stadium. Needless to say, it's a killer effing set. It's a killer show. And hey, guess what, dude? Hey, guess what? No wires.
What are we doing?
No wires. No wires. Post Malone was never attached to a harness. Post Malone was never lifted into the air like the archangel he is. Post Malone was never flying through the stadium in a car like Beyonce. It was never a Katy Perry just flipping out of control into a void type of lift me into the air, because I think that's going to make my concert way more interesting than if I just stand here on stage.
What are we doing?
Thank the Lord, and I knew Post Malone would never, but thank the Lord there was not any amount of time that Post Malone ever just kind of floated off stage where his feet hovered off of the ground and he was lifted up and hoisted into the air for no reason, presumably no reason. Hey, Katy Perry, why are you on wires? Hey, guys, stop putting wires on a harness and spinning over the crowd. That doesn't do, what is that for? I don't get it.
What are we doing?
I mean, it's just an overall incredible show. Okay. And it's the energy. It's the energy that not only Post Malone brings, but the fire and the fireworks and his stage presence and just the band and everything that they put into this Post Malone production. The energy fills the room, and it really doesn't matter where you sat. You could have been right up front like us. You could have been way in the back. We still had to watch the screen half the time because of the way they have the stadium set up. It's fine. But at the end of the day, the energy of the show is the experience. Like, if you're not a concert going person, we don't go to we're not concert people, you know what I mean? But the energy that Post Malone brings and the emotion, once you absorb the energy of the show and then fully grasp Post Malone's emotion throughout the entire thing, it just fills you up, overwhelms all of your senses, and the only thing you can do is just stand there either with your hand in the air or your drink or just be in that moment. And that, to me, is worth every single penny. If you can get yourself to a Post Malone show and you're even remotely a fan of his music, even if you don't give a shit about Jelly Roll, I'm telling you, it is an emotion of a feeling of an energetic being that just kind of takes over for the whole thing. You forget where you are. You forget what time it is. You forget what day it is. You forget everything going on in your life up until that moment, because the energy and emotion and just seeing him that far away from you perform what has now become essentially his life's work up until this point. It is an experience that you can only experience in person. And unfortunately, you get nothing on the TikToks and just watching videos of it. You have to go and just be there and feel the rumble of the speakers and the bass and him singing. And it's overall 100 out of 10 out of 10. We couldn't have asked for a better weekend in Philadelphia seeing Post Malone.
What are we doing?
I know I said it last week, and I signed Justin Bieber up for a small residency / a few shows at the Las Vegas Sphere. I know we've got a long list of people and shows and productions we've got to put on at the Sphere in Vegas. But if we could work on getting Post Malone into the Sphere at Las Vegas sometime within, I don't know, the next 3 or 4 years, that would just be icing on the cake, peachy keen. Let's make it happen. I would pay. Megs and I, we've now experienced Post Malone multiple times, multiple cities, multiple tours, multiple experiences. And we both agree that something like the Sphere would just be an eccentric experience just for anyone who can make it there. And we would probably be willing to pay just about any price and do just about anything to make that happen. So believe me, as soon as Post Malone is ready to go with his Vegas residency in the Las Vegas sphere, we'll be there. You know what I mean? Right after the Justin Bieber show. Okay. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Justin Bieber, can we just talk about the mere fact that his wife, Miss Hailey Bieber, just sold her beauty makeup brand company, Rhode Cosmetics, for $1 billion.
What are we doing?
Now, to that I say one of two things must be at play here. Either, and hear me out because this is a big either or, either Hailey Bieber, I keep wanting to say Halle Berry, either Hailey Bieber is the best to ever do it and has actually, within the span of like 3 to 4 years, built $1 billion makeup brand that no one's heard of, bought, or used in a professional sense at all. Or this is just one big marketing manipulation stock move to pay off all of her husband Justin Bieber's debt.
What are we doing?
So, I mean, at the end of the day, is it a coincidence that TMZ drops this major bombshell documentary of an article titled Justin Bieber's Broke? Is it a coincidence that Justin Bieber, like the number one pop star of pretty much all time, right up there with the numbers of Taylor Swift and the Jacksons of the world, you know what I mean? So Justin Bieber, the staple that he has left and put on the legacy of music, is certainly not that to blink an eye of. So his $500 million to $1 billion he's actually made over his career that is now gone. Is it a coincidence that his wife then a week later signs $1 billion deal to sell her makeup company? And so I asked Megs, because I don't go anywhere. I don't know makeup. I don't go to Sephora. I don't go to Ulta. And apparently Rhode Cosmetics, Hailey Bieber's makeup company, not sold at Ulta. You can only get it at Sephora, meaning AKA, guys, if you're listening and you don't know what that means, it's expensive.
What are we doing?
And so you can only get it at Sephora, and it would like, hey man, I've never heard of it. Okay, Maybelline, Elf, makeup, the Jenner, like we've Jeffree Stars of the world, like we all can kind of name one or two major makeup brands. But when I asked Meg, she's like, I've never seen or heard of any TikTokers, the Michaelas of the world, like the people who are in the makeup space, the Kylie Jenner, whatever. No one's talking about Rhode Cosmetics. So why is the company worth $1 billion?
What are we doing?
Is the major question. And so at the end of the day, listen, for those of you who don't know how business works, this is a Shark Tank kind of situation, okay? Hailey Bieber doesn't get a check for $1 billion, nowhere close. There's no way that Hailey Bieber's cosmetic company was acquired with her owning 100% of the equity. She has definitely stood in front of or has legally had to give percentages of this brand or company away, or just even signed on to it in the first place, being maybe a majority stakeholder in the company, but there's no way she owns 100 of it. So that $1 billion after taxes and fees and everything happens, the Biebers will probably end up getting, oh, guess what? The debt to cover Justin Bieber's $200 million. So it's interesting. It's money moves, but this is how the celebrities do it. If you and I need to make a little extra cash this weekend, we sell our old Game Boy and shit laying around the house, the old Nintendo Wii we haven't played with on Facebook Marketplace for like $20 or $30 just to get by. The Biebers sell off major portions of their company to other companies, much like we do. They sell off their stuff, but their stuff's just worth billions and hundreds of millions and millions of dollars.
What are we doing?
So listen, according to, you know what I mean, the people over at Elf, they believe that Hailey Bieber is a makeup genius. She's a marketing guru. She's a makeup genius. And even though no one's ever heard of Rogue Cosmetics. They were just acquired. Congratulations to the Bieber family. I'm sure now your finances are, figured out. But now that they've sold the company, they're just that much richer. And like, it's not like this whole notion of the celebrities and then debt, and you got to have debt to get more debt, and you take out debt. And it's just when hundreds of $1 million are at play, the $1 billion deals seem a little suspicious. You know what I mean? A little bit suspicious. So here's the thing. Chris Angel's stuff is for sale. Speaking of celebrities needing money, again, this is just what happens. You and I have Game Boys and Funko Pops laying around for tens and 20s and hundreds of dollars to sell. People like Chris Angel, they have magic props to sell for upwards of 50 grand.
What are we doing?
And so I don't know what this means. I don't know what Chris Angel's studio warehouse sale means for him. Maybe he needs money. Maybe they need just to get rid of it so they have room for new and bigger, better illusions. Maybe a new show. Maybe he's retiring. Let us hope that that's the case. But all I'm saying is, it's a little suspicious when people like Chris Angel start selling off their warehouse of secrets in a studio sale. Okay, and by God, much like on the top of this website, all prices are slashed, okay? Everything's got to go. Liquidation, on sale, Chris Angel Studio, happening May 31st and June 1st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is your opportunity. If you yourself personally have ever wanted to own and be able to perform the illusions that you see people like Chris Angel and Doug Henning and David Copperfield and David Blaine, if you want to be a stage magician and you're like, where do I buy? Do I have to buy something? Do I need prop? This is it. You need to go check out Chris Angel Studio sale because everything must go. And when I tell you, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what he's selling here. Look at this, dude. Hey, I'm probably going to buy this one.
What are we doing?
Chris Angel's chopper appearance illusion, dude. Go ahead. Let that sink in. I'm going to be the new owner of Chris Angel's chopper appearance illusion. Go ahead. I'll let it sink in while I take this sip of water. Chris's desire was to create the ultimate motorcycle appearance, period. Not only was that mandate accomplished, but a mentalism routine was born that allowed a random audience member to examine the entire area and select which one of the 8 choppers that appeared while they were just feet away with an assistant sitting on it. This happens instantly, appearing fast and in truly impossible conditions. This is one of Chris's signature routines performed in his Vegas show for years, on tour and on his television series, Mind Freak. You can't say regular, you have to scream it like that. You know what I mean? Forget about those fake looking bikes. This is the real deal. And Chris spared no expense. He spared no expense for this illusion, and I can only imagine. You know what I mean? His team spent countless hours developing it over years and years and years of time. This illusion includes a 9-foot chrome chopper, display table, gimmick, of course, projection panels, and the rights to Chris Angel's creation and routine and methods and technologies that will blow your mind. And ladies and gentlemen,
what are we doing?
I'm back. If you thought this was it, I'm back. The resurgence of magician Levi Sparks is here. He only has one in stock, and I need to get it. It's in very good condition. Item 1005 on sale for $69,999.
What are we doing?
Chris Angel, you silly goofy dog. So for only $70,000, baby, I'm back. I told Megs last night, I said, baby girl, what do you want? What do you want? She's been begging me for years. Levi, I need you to do one grand magic trick for me. And I said, hey, why don't I do that in Mexico at our wedding? I'll give you the grandest grand magic trick at the Grand Serenas Hotel and Resort is where we're staying. We're doing a grand magic trick at Grand Serenas. And so I said, hey, babe, do you want a card trick or do you want me to make a 9-foot Harley motorcycle appear on the rooftop deck, pool and bar and sauna of the grand presidential suite that we're staying in?
What are we doing?
You want a card trick? Or do you want me to make Chris Angel's motorcycle appear on the roof of our suite? Yes or yes? What do you want? You know what I mean? Because at this point, it's either a card trick or I could buy, hear me out, for only maybe $70,000 is a little outrageous for the cost, but maybe, just maybe, I could get, I don't know, what's this? Let's see what else we've got. Here we go. Oh, here's a floating table. I can get Chris Angel's floating table for, guess what? Only $99, and I'm in.
What are we doing?
F a card trick, dude. I'll just float a table and Megs will be in love with me forever, okay? I think if you're getting into magic, I mean, look at this. The door to nowhere illusion. Chris's original illusion creation performed by a Mystica. What the fuck? Why do we have to put letters? Why do we have to make names out of, why does everyone have to have a fake ass name? I know that's rich coming from me, but a Mystica, like the name of the girl who performed the show, like we can't, a mystic, like, come on, bro. Chris's original illusion created and performed by a Mystica. This is a very deceptive illusion and allows up to 4 people to appear out of nowhere. Beautifully handcrafted, ornate, and very durable for nightly use. Only 17 grand. About 5 times less than the make a chopper appear. So I could take the door to nowhere, put it on the roof, right at the edge of the rooftop, right? And then boom, where are people going to come from? It's the edge of the roof. I make 4 people appear from out of nowhere on the roof of the resort.
What are we doing?
For only 17 grand. I wonder if Chris Angel will ship it to Mexico. I think he should. If he won't, if I'm paying 17 grand, I need him to listen. Who knows? Look, we're all praying that the studio sale of Chris Angel comes with his retirement. Okay. I understand that one point in my life, I was a diehard mind freak. Okay. That was my first stage name. My first like YouTube Vimeo channel was McCurdy Mind Freak. I had a shirt that said it on it. You'll never see that again. And so it's a situation where I was young and I was dumb, and now we understand it. We understand now why and how Chris Angel is and came about and what he does and where he does it and the fact that it's all just kind of, it's not real. And so at the end of the day, and I understand, I'm not saying magic is real either, but when you watch things and people perform over the last 5 to 10 years, like David Blaine, who are innovating what magic is and blurring that line between real and reality and illusion and human feat and discovering what's actually possible out there, you start to become more and more numb to things that like Chris Angel are doing. When you see David Blaine actually setting himself on fire and then jumping off a bridge, that is a little bit more magical, I would say, as the definition, than, I don't know, Chris Angel using a stage prop to cut himself in half with fake blood bags squirting all over the stage and the audience to make it seem real and gory and just extremely annoying and over the top. So maybe, just maybe, with this warehouse sale, we'll finally see the retirement of Mr. Chris. But hey, listen, presumably now's a great time to do it. His kids, his son, thank God, is in good health. I know he was going through a cancer thing, leukemia, maybe something along those lines. I think his son is finally fully functional and out of the hospital. So congrats there, like finally living life. Maybe he wants to retire Magic to spend all of his time with, I don't know, his son and his family. Not a terrible idea. And by the way, he's got what might be, I highly doubt it, but probably a successful breakfast, lunch, and pizza restaurant. It's CBLP. It's CBLP. If you're in the Las Vegas, not the Strip, nowhere near the Strip, it's like 2 hours away from the actual city of Las Vegas. So you got to drive really far. Go get yourself some breakfast, some lunch, and or some pizza from Chris Angel's one of one own branded restaurant. And guess what? You got a little kid, you get ordering off the kids menu. Each kids meal comes with its very own trick that Chris teaches you himself. So, I mean, it's a Magic inspired pizza place. And listen, all I'm saying is if you have a pizza place and you try to sell or serve literally anything else as a normal restaurant, your pizza is shit. If you have pizza on your menu and you have a list of like 5 to 10 specialty pizzas like a normal pizza shop, but also have things like breakfast, like omelets or lunch sandwiches, things that you wouldn't normally find at every other pizza shop, your pizza, terrible.
What are we doing?
I guarantee it. There's a place right down where we live. It's called Breakfast and Pizza. And if you think that their breakfast is any good, spoiler alert, I'm gonna just tell you their pizza is probably not good either. And I haven't even tasted it. And so it's a golden rule that if you are not fully dedicated to your pizza as a pizzeria, I'm sorry, but your pizza, not that great for me. There's never been a combo breakfast, lunch, and pizza restaurant that had immaculate pizza as well as delicious food in every other category. I'm sorry, but hey, maybe Chris Angel is the exception to that. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
So, if you've ever wanted to become a magi professionally or as a hobby, check out chrisangel.com is where you can find all of the warehouse items for sale ranging from hundreds of dollars to $80,000. But hey, it's an investment. Invest in yourself, invest in your career, invest in your dreams, and you never know where you'll end up. If you invest 70 grand into an illusion that makes a motorcycle disappear that you bought from Chris Angel's warehouse sale, that could probably land you a residency at a C or D grade shitty hotel in Las Vegas for like, I don't know, 10,000 a show for like 10 show, maybe. Like, you'd at least make your money back. If you went to any production, any stage, any theater in the country and said, hey, I'm a magician, I have an hour to an hour and a half long show. And by the way, the grand finale is me making a full-size 9-foot, fully functional motorcycle appear on stage. And by the way, someone from the audience picks which version of my bike gets chosen to be on that we make appear. So it could be this one or this one. So it's not just like we have that one loaded up. It's a crazy illusion. They would sell you a show instantly. So, I mean, the investment is there. The investment's there, but I just don't, I feel like you probably don't have what it takes. So I'm going to go down to the warehouse, get the motorcycle illusion, and then boom, announce my comeback as a professional magician in Mexico come mid-July. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
So Trump's got pardons going left and right. Trump, in this round of pardons, Donald Trump released rapper NBA Youngboy, who was sentenced for gun-related charges. And for those of you who don't know, NBA Youngboy is a Louisiana rapper, and he had about 2 years on his bid for said gun-related charges. President Donald Trump pardoned him on Wednesday, and to that I say, thank God, because if there is one thing that I know I have been waiting for, I don't know about you, but I certainly could use some all-new NBA Youngboy music in my life. So please, straight to the studio for Mr. NBA, and let's get him cooking real quick.
What are we doing?
As if anyone, I don't think anyone's ever heard of. No one's really ever heard of that guy. So thank God he's out of jail, though. You know what I mean? Shout out to NBA Youngboy for your pardon, getting out of prison. Who else did Trump pardon? Of course, none other than Julie and Todd Chrisley, TV reality stars convicted of fraud and tax evasion in 2022. Now, if you're like me and don't know who these super white people are, they are Julie and Todd Chrisley. They have their own show, okay? They have their own show called Chrisley Knows Best. And Donald Trump signs pardons on Wednesday for reality TV stars Julie and Todd Chrisley, who were serving federal prison sentences after being convicted of 3 years ago of bank fraud and tax evasion. Naughty. The pardons pave way for the couple best known for their TV series Chrisley Knows Best, to be freed hours later. Todd Chrisley was released from a minimum security prison camp last evening, and Julie was left a facility in Lexington, Kentucky, according to Shannon Sharp, a spokesperson for the couple's attorney. Shannon Sharp, what? It's got to be a different Shannon Sharp, right? There must be two out there. I don't know. We just want to get home. We want to be reunited. The couple's daughter, Savannah Chrisley, told reporters outside the Florida prison earlier today as she awaits her father to be released. You know what I mean? And so if you've never seen the Chrisleys Know Best, I can't even say the damn name of the show. The Chrisleys Know Best. They're just a bunch of idiots. Like watch this clip. Chrisley's Know Best math clip. Is there a math clip? Yeah, right here. Watch this right here.
Jack had $10. He bought a pair of socks for $2.30 and a pair of gloves for $5.50. How much money did he have left? Add those two together
Can you give me the paper, please?
Subtract it from the 10.
I don't know which is worse, sitting here watching y'all try to teach him math or me thinking that y'all could teach him math.
Daddy.
What are you doing? $10 minus $7.80.
So $3.20.
Yeah.
What'd you
Extremely wrong.
What are we doing?
say?
$3.20 that he's got left.
He started out with 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$10
So
minus
he's got
$7.80 would be
$3.20
$3.20.
So don't cut the
He
eyes.
started with $10.
Yeah.
Right? And the gloves and the socks cost how much?
$7.80.
And this ended up with $3 and some change?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shop with that fella, because he got his product plus walked out with some extra.
So as you can see, not only the mother and the father and the entire family are a little on the slower side when it comes to math and numbers. This clip right here, this makes sense. This makes all the sense in the world.
What are we doing?
The fact that this is a clip, they should have showed this as evidence. Exhibit A. Exhibit A, Your Honor. As you can see here, Mr. Chrisley and his wife don't know simple math, let alone anything about taxes or fraud. They don't even know what $10 minus $2.80 equals, Your Honor. As you can see here, there's no way that they would be able to accurately do their taxes when it comes to their massive amounts of income, when they can't even do basic first grade math. If you have $10 and something costs $2.80, how much you're getting back? Shout out to the Chrisleys, yo. You're out of jail and have been pardoned by
What are we
Zaddy
doing?
Trumpets. Like, I mean, now clearly, thank God they clear it up, right? Like, they get it.
What are you saying?
He's got $10.
$3.20 left. He spent $7.80.
He
He's
spent
wrong.
$7.80.
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm
but
out.
that's
Love it.
not extra.
Take $7.80
I
from
get,
10.
I get that. That's what I was saying. $3 and
You idiot. Gracie, you come with me.
Is it safe to say they deserve to be in jail for tax fraud?
What are we doing?
You know, but I'm sure because of the show, they probably listen, here's the issue. So what? They need a climax of the reality show? They need a climax for season 6. So what better way for them to create a viral moment on the upcoming season of the reality show, because them getting pardoned by Trump and released out of prison like this week is going to be footage that they're using in the upcoming season of Chrisley's Know Best, their reality show. So what better way? What better way to blast through the ratings, get renewed for yet another season, and 180 the entire narrative away from your crimes and put the attention back on your reality show than to have the 47th president of the United States personally call your daughter and let her know that mommy and daddy are coming home.
What are we doing?
This country has one of the most patternistic societies. I mean, Gypsy Rose kills her mom. Get her another season.
What are we doing?
You know what I mean? These guys, hey, tax evasion, they were just trying to put Donald Trump in jail for tax evasion and inflating the price of a condo.
What are we doing?
They don't need to be in prison. Get them out. You know what I mean? Get them out. Get them another season. And not only is that seasonal rating through the roof, Donald Trump is now, as soon as that airs, and in this moment, once again, the hero. Through the roof, the ratings, the whole thing. Hey, how much money do you think they donated to the Trump campaign to make this happen?
What are we doing?
And by the way, Zaddy Trumpets, you out here just pardoning reality TV stars. Excuse me, what about Joseph Maldonado?
What are we doing?
What about Joe Exotic, huh? You've heard his name how many times? How many times have you heard NBA Youngboy? How many times have you heard about the Chrisleys in your ear at press conferences, from social media, people on the streets? I haven't. I've seen them asking and talking to you about Joe Exotic. So let's take a look at that case, okay? Because why haven't we pardoned, if we can get the Chrisleys out, if we can get NBA Youngboy out, if we can get Lil Wayne, if we can get all these other people who have drug and gun and tax evasion type of crimes pardoned by the President of the United States, why is it so hard to get Joe Exotic out of jail?
What are we doing?
Joe Exotic didn't hurt anyone. He never paid anyone to commit a crime. He had no plans to hurt anyone or pay anyone to commit a crime, and has had no prior criminal record, and is not a danger to anyone in this country, and or when he eventually just goes to Mexico to live forever on a beach with his husband.
What are we doing?
But according to insider sources, it's not all, it's not all lost for our good dear friend, Joe Exotic, okay? Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ a pardon for Joe Exotic remains a possibility, dude, okay? However, his case was not reviewed during the recent round of presidential pardons. It's unclear why Joe wasn't made a priority this time around, but we're told it's very possible that his case will be reviewed in the very near future.
What are we doing?
As one source says it, some people wonder when the best time for a pardon is. Well, freedom's now, end quote. We're told folks reviewing clemency cases for Trump are not swayed by celebrity status, and they focus solely on the candidate's story. So you're meaning to tell me, let me get this straight. A gay man with prostate cancer who never hurt anyone, paid anyone to do so, or has no prior criminal record, or is not a single ounce or percentage of danger to society. He just wants to live with his husband and cuddle some tigers, maybe eventually, is a better story than the closeted gay guy who frauded the government out of tax, IRS, taxes, the whole 9 yards. That guy?
What are we doing?
That's a better story? Chrisley's a better story? I mean, like, what happened? Be honest, guys. What happened? What happened? Elon Musk accidentally deleted the IRS file that the Chrisleys falsified, so essentially the crime never happened, so you gotta let him go? You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
Listen, free our man Joe Exotic. Get him out. Listen, he's got like not a lot of time left to live. So at this point in time, it just makes sense. Get him to Mexico, get him treated down there because it's a hell of a lot cheaper than it is up here. Shout out to our healthcare system. And we got to free him. We got to free Joe Exotic. We got to get him out. If gun crimes and tax evasion get them out of jail, then tell me what are we doing? What are we doing still having that man in prison?
What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Levi McCurdy. This has been another fantastic episode, 191 of the What Are We Doing podcast. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in with me, the comments, the shorts, the support every week. I can't tell you how much it's appreciated on the side of me. I love you guys. I love every listener, every subscriber. We're up to, I believe, 1,225 now beautiful faces. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and be on the lookout for what we've got going on next week. I might be in front of the new set for a little bit here to come. I might go back to the abduction of New York City. Who knows? We'll see. Everything is just spinning and running right along here at the What Are We Doing Studios, and I'm so excited you are on this journey with me. Don't forget, follow us on social media, watch us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, X, the whole 9 yards. I said YouTube 6 times, but we love it there. Peace. Shout out to you guys. You're the best. I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.
What are we doing?